Hello. Okay, guys, we are live. So, hello everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, and today we're gonna continue with the movie booking app. So, actually, we were working on this project and we took say 6 days to complete the backend as well as the admin panel. But there were some APIs remaining in the front end. So, without that, I think the project would be incomplete. That's why we are taking these extra 2 sessions. Okay, so this is extra session 1. After this, next day, extra session 2, right? And we would take one more session after this for MERN stack, that is deployment part. Okay, that means after 2-3 days we're gonna host a session at Geeks development channel. In this, I'm gonna teach you how to host MERN applications for free. That means you're gonna deploy MERN applications on free tools. Like for example, for the backend you would be using cyclic.sh website, and for front end you would be using varsel.com. You can visit there on your own, you can search more about it, or else you can follow the tutorial which we are gonna take that day. Okay, so now let's continue, and I'm gonna first of all show you where is the exact source code. From there you can pick the source code. Okay, so guys, in the description you'd find a link of a GitHub profile. Okay, so that's my GitHub profile, github.com/VIRAJJ014. Okay, this is my GitHub profile. You can type it here or you can check the description. Okay, so here you can follow me, and you can also check out my other social media handles if you want. Now in the repositories you would find a lot of different repository. What you have to do is you have to simply search for movie, movie. Okay, so you can see we have movie booking admin. So I've hosted the admin file. That means I've saved the admin panel repository. Similarly, we have the backend. Okay, and similarly we have the front end. Okay, so we have all these three things. Today we are gonna mostly work on front end and the backend. Okay, admin was done. The main part of admin was to just create a movie, just create a theater, and just add it to the database. Okay, so that's the main logic for the admin, and we have completed that. So now let's continue with the backend as well as the front end. Okay, so you can find the complete source code here. You can also mark it as a star so that it's available in your stars section. Okay, it's available in your stars section, so it's great to have saved things. Okay, so now let's continue, and now I'm gonna start VS Code. And before that, guys, in the description you would find a link of a course provided by Geeks4Geeks. So if you want to purchase MERN courses, if you want some MERN course, you can definitely check out the link. I'm going to show you one link, and we actually have two links here, live and offline. So this is the live course. Similarly, we have the offline course, which is you can check out the places mentioned in the course. Okay, similarly we have the offline course. So this is definitely a paid course, so you can check out the, first of all you can check out the content, then if you like it then you can purchase it. Okay, now let's continue. I'm gonna open VS Code now. So guys, this was the movie project folder. I'm just gonna open it with VS Code directly, so you would see that here we have the folder. Okay, fine. So you can see that we actually had the backend, front end, and the admin panel, right? We had these three things. So now I'm gonna simply say that let's continue with the I'm sorry, let's continue with the front end and the backend. Okay, so I'm gonna start backend, then we are gonna start with the front end. Just a minute. Okay, so guys, for that what you can do is you can simply right click here, open an integrated terminal, and make sure you have followed last 6 days of movie booking project. For that what you can do is you can simply visit the Geeks4Geeks development channel, and inside that you would find a playlist of MERN 3x. In that playlist we have covered movie booking project for 6 days. It's there, and this is 7th day. Okay, that means extra session 1, and after this we are gonna have day 8 extra session 2, then it's over. But this project would also be over. Okay, so now here we have movie booking backend. So we have opened it here. We simply type Nodemon. Okay, so okay, just a minute, I think I have to close it somewhere else. Okay, I'm already running somewhere else. Okay, so I have closed it. Okay, now we're gonna restart. So yes, now if you type nodemon, you would see something like this. Okay, so it's fine. And now what you have to do is simply I would again open the front end also. So I'll just name it as backend. Okay, so backend, and similarly we're gonna create an integrated terminal for front end. Okay, so open an integrated terminal, and here I'm going to write npm run dev. Okay, npm run dev. So you can see it's also started at localhost 3000. So let's see how it looks exactly. So guys, you can see it's being started, and initially we just created the front end. Now we have to connect the backend APIs. So let's start with the login page. Okay, so if I click on the logout button, actually it must take me to the login page, but anyways right now it's not taking me. I'll connect that later on, but right now I'll simply type slash auth slash sign in. Okay, so it would take me to the sign in page. Okay, so we created a very basic sign in page. Now here what you have to do is you have to add your APIs. So we created the auth API here in the back end itself. You can go to routes, and inside auth you can actually see we created the register API as well as the login API. So let's first of all talk about the register part. Here you can see guys, we were taking name, email, password and confirm password. If I click on register, you can see I'm also getting the errors, but I have to do one thing. Okay, first of all, in the register part you are taking name, email, password. I want to take one more thing, that is city. Okay, city of the user. I would also take that, because according to that I'm going to show the theaters, right? If city is not there, how can you show the theaters to the user? Okay, so for that I'm going to take city also. And yes, we are just going to save the city. And one more thing, just go to models, user schema, and here itself I'm gonna add city. So guys, we have covered everything in previous videos. Please check out those videos, then there you would get everything. Okay, so here I would just type city colon, and it's of type string and it's required. Okay, so some of you might be confused where are the old videos, so let me just show you where are the old videos. You can simply go to GFG development channel. Okay, let me just take you there. Yes. So guys, here you can simply visit the Geeks for Geeks development channel, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because we have been continuously uploading and we need more reach. Okay, so yeah, just go here, and in the playlist you would find MERN 3x Trev. Okay, this playlist, just go here. And if you want to know where are the 6 days of movie booking apps, so you can see starting from here, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 and day 6. So what happened on day 6 was we completed the backend and admin panel, but we couldn't complete the front end. So I could have left the project empty, but still we need to complete. The project must not be empty. So we are taking extra sessions, extra session 1, extra session 2, right? So that's how you're gonna cover. Please watch those 6 videos. We have covered everything in those 6 videos. Okay, so from movie booking day 1 to day 6, okay, till here, just cover all these. After that you can watch extra session 1, extra session 2. Okay, this is the movie booking project, and by the way you can check out the complete playlist, right? So now let's continue. And here what we have done is we simply changed the register API, and we have simply changed the user schema. Now let's go to the front end. So in the front end, first of all, I would like to import the env file. Okay, make little bit bigger. Okay, thanks for informing me. Okay, fine. I hope now it's more visible. Right, so here I would simply say I would create a new file, and let's name it as dot env dot local. Okay, so env.local. So inside this, here I'm just gonna paste my backend URL. Okay, so env files are actually for securing your links or URLs, whatever you don't want to show to everyone. Okay, so you can use this as a variable in every page. You don't need to pass your backend URL everywhere. So what is your backend URL? Your backend URL is localhost 8000, right? This is my backend URL. So I've simply created a variable. Whenever I call this variable, I simply call my backend URL. Okay, so to keep things secure, you add things inside the env variable. Now we have it. Now let's close it. Okay, so let's close everything and just make sure this is the register API. It's inside which folder, you inside which file? You can see auth.js. Auth.js is called inside index.js, which is our root file, the first file which is always going to root. And you can see this is inside the auth route. So slash auth slash register. If you call slash auth, we are inside this page. If you call slash register, this API is called. Okay, similarly we are going to call other APIs also. Okay, so yeah, we have to call this API. So I will simply go to src app and auth, and inside sign up, here I have to call the sign up API. So you can see I'm taking these details, but I have to take one more detail, that is what? City. So I would simply type city and it's city. Okay, so I've added city. So you have to add city everywhere wherever you are taking an object. Okay, so I think everything is fine here. And one more thing, you have to take city as input here. Okay, so right now what you would see is right now we have something like this. Okay, we have to add city also. Okay, so I'm just going to say division, and here guys, I'll just say let's give it a class name of the same. Actually I would like to have the same things, so I would simply say that it's a form container. Okay, inside this you're going to have a label for city. So here itself you're just going to mention a label for city, and you're going to have an input tag for city where you would just pass your city similar to others. Then you are simply going to show your error if there is a city error. Okay, so these are all the things which we have. Now let's talk about the handle submit. Okay, so once you have added all the details in your form data, now you just want to save the details in your database. So for that you'll just simply say, first of all I would add validation for city also. Size बढ़ा दो. I have actually increased the size, and if I increase more then I won't be able to see. You can see that it's too large, so it's difficult for me to manage. Please increase the video quality if you can in your device, because I think this is fine. Okay, this much is fine. Right, so here you can see we have given form data. Actually for name also I've given validation. Okay, so for city also I'm going to give validation. Okay, so if there is an error in the city, if city is not provided, then I'm simply going to add this error into my object keys. Okay, so we have done this previously. I've just added a few more errors. Right, so here we have the submit button, and if everything is fine, I'm just going to print the form data. So I'll just try to say that console.log form data. Okay, so here we are just printing the console dot. Okay, we are actually printing it anyways, we don't need this. Okay, so we are just printing the form data. If everything is fine, we'll get the form data, and right now I'm going to assume that everything is fine, right? So once everything is fine, I'm just going to call my fetch API for uploading the data. For uploading the data inside the sign up, I'm just going to call a fetch API with what? Slash auth slash register. Okay, so I'm just simply going to say that this route would be called my backend URL slash auth slash register. Okay, that's my API. Now inside this, I would simply like to say that this was a post request. Okay, so I would just say that it's a post request. Method is post. Fine. Now after this, I think we have to add the header also. Yes, header is also important. And one more thing guys, just provide the form data in body. Okay, that's it. After this guys, you would receive some response. So first of all, you have to convert the response into JSON format. Then once the response is converted into JSON format guys, you are just going to say that do something with it. But if you are facing an error, just show an error in the console. Okay, so I'm also going to use React Toastify. So we were actually using React Toastify, so I'll just copy this, and if I get an error, I'll just say toast dot error with the message. Okay, but if everything is fine, we're just going to say that everything is fine. So we'll simply say user logged in successfully, or whatever message you receive. So for checking that if response is okay, that means everything is fine. So you're just going to say if response dot okay is true, then you are simply going to say that just send the success message and send the user to which page. Actually you don't need the success message, you would send the user to sign in page. Okay, or you can add a listener for 2 seconds. After 2 seconds you can send the user to sign in page. Okay, till then you can just show the pop-up, and you can do one more thing, that is set this as empty if you want. Okay, rest everything is fine. And if you don't receive okay as true, so you're just going to say that user is not registered, so you're just going to show the message whatever you receive from backend. Okay, so in both cases you are going to get the message only, but if okay is false, that means response is false, that means there is some error message, so error message would be shown as an error. Okay, and if everything is fine, you are just going to send the user to sign in. Okay, now let's try to work on this page. If I just reload, first of all reload, if I click on register, you can see everything is empty, so I'm getting error. So I'll just say that, for example, I have an email at j1 and password as j123, password is j123, city is, I've chosen a city. Okay, and if I click on register, so guys, after you click on register, if you inspect, so you can see the server responded with a conflict. Okay, let's see the backend. So in the backend, guys, you can see everything is fine. So let's try to print the response. If everything is fine, you can see, okay. Guys, here I'm simply saying that check for, okay, I think we have to fix the API also. Some basic part of the API must also be fixed. Okay, so I'm just going to say that when you are talking about the register API, first of all, you are taking what? You are taking name, email, password, and then you are checking if the user exists along with the city. Okay, so here what actually happens is you are taking name, email, password, city, and if user already exists, then you are not going to register. You're just going to send this user an error. But if user doesn't register, just create a new user, just save a new user. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just simply print the response also. Console.log user registered successfully. Okay, let's see how it works. So again, if I go here and let's try to do this, so you can see I'm getting a conflict because I think the API name is perfect. Okay, but I'm facing a conflict. Okay, let's try to print this also. I think there is some issue, or else I have to just restart the application. Maybe there is some issue with that. Let's print this backend API also. So I'll simply print this just before submitting the form data. Okay, let's see how it looks. So if I click on register, you can see this is also fine. Okay, /auth/register conflict. I think we have to check the response inside this. So you can see I'm not able to reach here. So I'll simply say that when you're not able to reach here, so first of all, let's try to print the body. So I'll simply say console req.body. Again, if I click on register, so you can see I'm getting the body. And one more thing, I think this is fine till here. Now what? I would simply check for the existing user. If existing user is not there, that means this would be empty. But if existing user is there, that means I would get some error. Okay, so if I click on register, so guys, here actually I'm getting an issue. Okay, checking for the email. Okay, let's do that again. Let's print the things again. Okay, so I'll just print the body again, click on register. So I have what? Name, email, password. Okay, let me just check my database also. So for database, I'm simply going to go to my database, and my database is which one? This one. Okay, so let's go there. Sign in, and then you just have to sign in with account, whatever account you have created the database. So this is Viraja014 account. Okay, so here I'm just going to pick my movie booking 3x. Yes. Okay, let's go to database, and here you would get your database. So browse collections, and in users. Okay guys, I think there is some problem here. You can see I have created a user and this was the user. Okay, I think maybe the conflict is happening because of this. So first of all, I'll just delete this user. Okay, so I'll just say that I want to just delete this user. Maybe the conflict is happening because of this. Okay, so now let's try to redo the things because we have made some changes in the schema also, so that's why. Okay, so now if I just save this, just save this, fine. And now let's try to register. So you can see now it's registered successfully, and if you refresh from here, you would get a user. Actually, I've changed the schema, the city is also changed, so that's why you were getting issues. But right now, if you can see that here we have everything fine here. Okay, so you can see city is also here added, fine. So there is no issue now. Okay, so please clear the old database, then you can add new things, everything would be fine. Okay, so now login is done successfully. Similarly, we are going to perform, sorry, register has been done successfully. Similarly, we are going to perform the login part. Okay, so register API is done. Similarly, we have the login API. So login API has what, email and password. So I'll just say login. So for that, just say that in the similar way we are just going to call the login API. Okay, so let's go to the sign in page, that is login page. We are already taking email and password, and we're just going to say that after this, after checking validation, we are just going to send a response. Okay, so for that, first of all, you are going to call the login API with the post method, same things. Okay, and don't forget to add credentials include everywhere, because we are using cookies everywhere, not in the login sign up, but just make a habit to use it in this specific application. Okay, then after this, if login is successful, then you're simply going to say that if login is successful, you are getting a response. Actually, you don't need this check login. So if response is successful, okay, that means whatever it is, if your response is okay, then you're just going to show your message. Whatever is your message, that means okay is true, you're just going to show your message. And after this, we are simply going to send the user to which page. So I'll just say window dot location, and I've just sent to the user to the home page. Okay, just send the user to home page, and we don't actually need these, so just remove these, fine. So I'm just saying that if login is successful, send the user to home page, else show the error. Okay, else show the error. So now let's try this. So again, if I come here and let's add the details. So it was hj1@gmail.com and password was hj123. Guys, one more thing before logging in, we are going to change the expiry time also. So you can see right now it's 10 minutes, so I'll just make it 50 minutes so that the token doesn't get expired every time. And let's make it 60 minutes. Okay, fine. And similarly, if you are refreshing a token in the user schema, actually sorry, in the middleware, check our token, and here we are refreshing the token, right? So when you are refreshing the token, you again just change it to some bigger amount of time so that you don't have to log in again and again. Okay, because for small amount of time you have to log in again and again if both tokens expire. Fine, so that's it. So you can see it's working fine and everything is fine. Now let's try to do the login part. So if I click on login, so you can see login was successful and I am being taken to the home page. Okay, so after you are in the home page, let's first of all fix the navbar. So navbar, you can see we created this, right? So the problem here is right now you are just getting the random city. So first of all, you have to show your city here, and one more thing, you have to add the logout functionality. And what else, you are also going to get the user data. Okay, so for that, let's create a few APIs here first of all. So right now in the auth part, we have the login part. Okay, so similarly we created check login. We are also going to create one more API for the logout. Okay, so for the logout, I'm just going to say just clear the cookies. Okay, so for the logout, I'm just saying just clear the cookies. So I'm just saying that in the logout part, I'm sorry, in the logout part, just clear the auth token and refresh token. Okay, so I'm first of all checking that if that user is there. Okay, I think we actually don't need this middleware. Okay, we can remove this middleware because we just want to clear the cookies. Okay, so I'm just saying whenever logout route has been called from front end, just clear the cookies from backend and then send a response user logged out. Okay, so that's how logout would work properly. Okay, so I've just connected my logout with the backend, but you can do it with the front end itself. You can clear cookies from front end and then perform logout. But I think this is also a good method. It is more secure. Okay, the logout is more secure. Okay, it's a confirmation. Okay, so here I'm just saying that whenever logout is called, clear cookies, send the response. Okay, fine. So this is the logout route. Similarly, I'm going to have one more API for getting the user. So whatever user is logged in, I want to get that user's data, so that user ID is extracted from the token. Okay, from the token, and you just have the ID. According to that, you'll get the user. If user doesn't exist, then you're simply saying invalid credential. If user exists, then you're just going to send the user. Okay, that's the get user API. Similarly, we have created logout, we have created get user. One more thing is change city. Suppose if I only provide the city of the user and I just want to change it. Okay, that means I just want to change the city field of the user. Okay, so here you can see we are just taking the city as input, and we are just finding the user ID from the token. We found the user ID, and according to that we are finding the user. If everything is fine, just change the user city and update the user and save the user change city successfully. Okay, so this would be useful with the change city pop-up. Okay, in the navbar you have the pop-up for city, right? So for that we have this API. Okay, so now let's come back to front end, and for the front end I want to work on the navbar. Okay, so I'll go to navbar.tsx. Here we have to work on it. Okay, so I'll have a few functions, and we are going to use these functions. First of all, first function is to change the city or add the city. Okay, first function is actually to get the city of the user. Okay, so that you can show the city here. Right now you can see we are showing which city. We are showing here Mumbai. Okay, but this is hard coded, right? So we have to get the exact city, so we'll show the exact city. So first of all, I'll just say that whatever user is logged in, भाई 4 months बाद देख रहा हूँ हैंडसम हो गए हो. Thanks bro. Sir, my ad screen is not working. Which project are you talking about? Okay, so here in the nav bar we are going to have four things. First of all, I think, okay, we are going to have first thing, that is the user. Okay, we are going to have the user. Second thing is, here you can see right now we are just showing the logout button, but if the user is not logged in, we are going to show the login button, right? So for that we are going to create a hook here which would simply check if the user is logged in or not. Although you can check it with the user also. If user exists, that means you are already logged in. If user doesn't exist, then you are not logged in. But anyways, we are just going to create another hook. Initially I'm just going to assume that user is not logged in. Okay, so here we have these three hooks, and I think yes, now we are going to call an API which is get user. So you can see we created get user API. We're going to call this API, right? So for that, let's create a function const get user movie wala hi project. Your API is working or not? Please compare that code with my GitHub repository. I provided the GitHub repository source code. Actually मैं भी भूल गया हूँ आप किस ad की बात कर रहे हो. थोड़ा सा और can you please elaborate more so I can explain that? Okay, so inside the get user function, I would just say that we are going to have a fetch request. Okay, so fetch request with the get user API, and I'm just going to provide the credentials. With the credentials, with the token, the backend is going to identify the user ID. With the user ID, backend is going to identify the user. Okay, so credential include is important, and here you're just saying that get the user. I'm just getting the user, and if I got the user, then I would simply set the user as whatever user I got. Okay, just set the user as whatever I got. Okay, fine, right? So after this, one more function must be called, that is handle logout. Okay, handle logout. So I would simply say handle logout would be called. Okay, actually we don't need the we don't need to check the logged in. Actually we can check it with we can simply say if res dot okay, then set logged in as true, else you're going to set logged in as false. Okay, this is fine. You don't need to check login externally. You can just get it by user. Okay, if you found the user, that means you are logged in. If you didn't found the user, that means you are not logged in. So you're just going to set it as false, and this is as true. Okay, and one more thing, you can do one more thing, that is if user is not logged in, so you can actually send the user. Okay, this is not the exact method which is used in Next.js, but I'm just using a shortcut. That is, I'll send the user to which page? To the sign in page. Okay, that's it. So I'll just send the user to sign in page, right? So that's what happens with get user. Can I ask job related questions from you? Yes, you can ask job related questions from me. And yes, so this is get user, and similarly we have handle logout. So for handle logout, we created the API in backend, that is slash logout. Okay, slash auth slash logout. Okay, so I'll just say that whatever is the user logged in, as I just want the user to be logged out. Okay, so I'll just say slash logout would be called, and after this, as a response, you're just going to send the user to which page. Once the user is logged on, you're just going to send the user to which page? Sign in page. Okay, and if there is any issue, still you are just going to send the user in sign in page. Fine. So that's it. Now let's try to call these. So when we'll call the handle logout, we're just going to call the handle logout. First of all, you need to check if user is logged in or not. Okay, so for that, we're just going to call a use effect. We're just going to call a use effect, anywhere you can call it, and you're just going to call it when when the navbar loads or any change in the navbar. Okay, so I'm just saying that get user would be called. So whenever navbar has any change, that means you load the page, you refresh the page, any change, you would get the user. But better approach is you can save this user at some state. Okay, that means you can use recoil or redux for saving it somewhere, some global variable. You don't need to call this user again and again. Okay, so right now I'm just calling it, but you don't need to call this again and again. You can use redux or recoil if you want. Okay, so right now I'm just saying that whenever the navbar component loads, just call the user. Okay, just call the user and save the user inside this. But if user doesn't exist, automatically you would be sent to the uh, login page. Okay, login page, right? So one more thing, if you are talking about this handle logout, handle logout would be simply called in what? Inside this. Okay, when you click on logout button, handle logout is called, right? But the problem here is right now you're just going to first of all check if the user is logged in or not. Okay, so you're just going to say that if user is logged in, then show him the logout button, else show him the login button. Okay, so here I'm just going to say that if the user is logged in, then you are going to show the user logout button. Okay, that's what the user would want then. Okay, but if user is not logged in, then you're just simply going to show the user this button, which would redirect to the login page. Okay, so that's how it works, and I've simply said it here. Now inside this, I just want to get the user city. Okay, so I just want to show the user city. So here I would simply say if user exists, then check for user city. If user city also exists, then simply show the user city or else show something else. Okay, so I would simply say that instead of this p tag, I would just extract the city from user. I'm just saying that first of all check for user. If user exists, then show user city, whatever city you have saved, else show select city option here. Okay, and you have the drop down also. So now let's check. So right now if I just refresh, you can see I'm getting my city, and also I'm getting the logout button. If I click on this, you can see I'm getting the login button. Okay, and once the user is logged on, you can see it works like this. But the problem here is, okay, actually guys, I would say that instead of this, I don't want to call this. Okay, instead of this, just let it be. Okay, just let it be. So logout would be proper. Fine. So now let's log in again. So I'll just say that suppose this was all the also the user which I have registered previously. So I'll check 123. So login. So you can see user logged in. You can see it's the city and the logout button. So you can see this is perfect. Okay, perfect. So you can see it works fine. Okay, fine. So now log in again. So again, सर मैं 3 मंथ से ट्राई कर रहा हूँ जॉब के लिए, लिंक्डइन से अप्लाई भी कर रहा हूँ बट रिप्लाई नहीं आ रहा है किसी का, इंग्लिश भी वीक है. Actually, like English is not a very big deal. Personally, like I have done some freelance work mostly, not any specific job type. Like in jobs, definitely English is required. but try to go for some freelance work. If you're not getting a job right now, go for a freelance work, because I think personally I've felt that freelance work is way more better than a job, because you don't need to work continuously, you can work anytime. So yes, LinkedIn is a great platform, definitely, but in LinkedIn also you have to keep an eye, like you have to continuously search, first of all, continuously apply. Second thing is your profile must also be good. Like it's not like I don't have shown any of my projects in my LinkedIn profile, or I haven't added any projects to my other social media handles also. For example, you can check out my Instagram also. I usually post my projects there also. So you have to be like universal, okay, not just LinkedIn, first of all. And whatever social media platform you're talking about, for example, if you're just on LinkedIn, just try to add your projects to LinkedIn profile, so that anyone, if any recruiter or anyone just visits your profile, they can see your projects at least. That's the one main thing. And English is not a very big deal, because most of us actually don't have a very great English. And personally, when I wasn't teaching at Geeks for Geeks here, I didn't had a very great English. टूटी फूटी इंग्लिश आती थी, बट अभी थोड़ी ठीक हो चुकी है. So English is not a very big deal. It's about conversation. When you have conversation or you are teaching someone, then English would be better. But in most cases, in most professional jobs, English is required, but in freelance works, English is not required. Okay, it's just you know how to communicate, and for that, yes, whatever language is required. So just try to update your LinkedIn profile. This might be a very big reason you are not getting responses. And one more thing, whenever you apply for any job and you're just sending a message, so please frame the message very properly. For example, you just can't say that I need a job to anyone. You have to frame a proper message that I have done this work, I have uh, like my clients are happy from me, and my previous work was this, I did this work, I created these projects. So you have to frame a proper message whenever you are trying to contact any recruiter, or you're just messaging on someone's post. Some people actually comment on people's post in this way, so you have to do it this way. And keep an update on your LinkedIn profile. I couldn't keep my LinkedIn profile updated, but anyways, it's a required thing. Whenever you're looking for a job, please try to keep your LinkedIn profile updated, because that's what all the recruiters would see first. Okay, now let's continue. And here, and guys, one more thing, this year I personally felt there are less number of jobs as compared to previous years, because of recession. Okay, so don't get worried about, like, you, even if you are capable, I've seen many people, they are capable this year, but still they are not able to get jobs because of recession. Okay, so that's a very big reason. So don't be afraid about anything. This is for some time. If you are capable enough, you'll get a job. Okay, just keep trying and you'll get a job. Okay, so now here we have this pop-up. Okay, so I just want to say, whenever I select any city, I just want to change that user city. Okay, that's what I want. That means in database right now you can see this city is here. I want to change this city to some other city. So for that, I'm just going to call the change city API, right? That's what we created. So let's go to the APIs. You can see we created change city API. Okay, so we have to call it. So here I would just say that whatever was the pop-up, this was the pop-up, right? So inside this, I would just create a hook which would store my city. So here, and one more thing, guys, right now you can see I've called get cities, and it is just having some hard-coded cities. So I didn't get any API for now which would return me all cities, but if you have any API, you can use any API instead of this. But right now I've just hard-coded some cities, and I'm getting the cities with that. Now I just want to select a city, and I would add it to my database. So for that, what I would say is, first of all, select a city. Okay, one important thing is selecting a city. So for selecting a city, I would again create a hook named as selected city. Okay, this would carry my selected city, whatever selected city is here. So whenever you make a change on select option tag, you're just going to call on change, and you're just going to say whatever value is passed here, just set it as my city. That's what I have said here. Okay, so automatically if you select any city, the value of that city would be extracted and set it inside this hook. Now you have the city value. Okay, so you're just going to call that function named as handle save. Actually, handle save is here. So I'm just going to first of all save the things inside users database. Okay, so I'll just remove this, and I'll just say whatever city is here, just call the change city API. Just call the change city API. Okay, inside this I'm providing the city. Okay, and I'm just saying credentials include because this is going to ask for the user authentication, and that's it. And after this, as a response, you're just going to convert the response into JSON format. If response is okay as true, that means okay is true, then you're simply going to close the pop-up and reload the page so that your new city would be reflected at the top. Okay, but if there is any error, you're just going to show that error in the catch part. And similarly, actually you need to import toast from Toastify. Okay, so I'll just import toast here, import toast from React Toastify. And what else, you can actually say if you get error, that means okay is false, so you're just going to show the error message. Okay, so if okay is true, that means it's successful. If okay is false, that means there is some error. Okay, so now let's try to check it. So right now if I select any city, Kanpur, if I click on save, so you can see I have got the new city as Kanpur. You can see the same in your uh, database also. You would see the same changes. Okay, so here itself you can see whatever is the um, yes, you can see that the city for this user is Kanpur. Okay, so fine. So according to that, city is now changed. Okay, so why city is important? Because according to that, you are going to get the theater. Okay, so if I just save this, you can see that the city is updated. Fine. So now we are just going to show the movies. So for showing the movies, these are the movies, right? So we have to get the movies from the movies file, and here you can see we have created a lot APIs actually. So this is the API which I was talking about. We want to get movies from this API. Okay, that is we want to get all the movies, okay, and I'm just assuming that we are getting all the movies, but you can add filters like get movies for this month or get latest movies, anything, but right now I'm just getting all the movies. Okay, so slash movies must be called. So here I would say that when you want to call this, where you are going to call this first of all, so you are going to call this inside the movie carousel. So inside movie carousel we're going to call the movies. Okay, so this was the movies. Instead of this, I want to call movie from backend. Okay, right now we were hard coding things. Okay, these things were hard coded. Now we're going to call movies from backend. So what happened was in previous sessions we saved things using admin panel. You can check out from day 1 to day 6 of movie app. We did some things, and one important thing was we created admin panel and saved the movie using admin panel. We saved the movie using admin panel, and we saved the theater using admin panel. Inside the theater we scheduled a movie using admin panel. Okay, so we have done 3 4 things in the past few days. You can check out those, so there you'll understand the logic. Here we are just showing the movies in the carousel. So we want to get the movie. For getting the movie, I would just create a hook named as movies. Okay, I'll just create a hook named as movie, and I'll just call a function named as get movies. Okay, just call a function named as get movies. Inside this, guys, we are going to call the fetch API, okay, for movies. So what actually happens is inside index.js, you can see I'm calling the movie route. Inside this movie route, we have the movie API which would give me movies. Okay, so slash movie slash movies. Okay, so the route is a bit complicated, you can change the names anytime, but yeah, that's the route to get movies. Okay, so I want to call this API, right? So inside the movie carousel, you can see I'm calling this API slash movie slash movies. Okay, after this we have simply said that this is the get method. We have to provide credentials because we have to check the user first. Okay, always check the user first. That means cookies of the user first. That's why we are first of all from frontend we are providing cookies to the backend. Okay, so at the end you're just going to say once everything is fine, you're converting the data in JSON format. If data.ok is true, that means we have successful data. Else you don't have the data, that means you're having some error. Okay, so we're just saying that if data okay is true, that means set the movie. Okay, so movie actually comes in 3 forms. Actually the response comes in 3 forms: okay, message, and data. So we are just getting the data, right? We are getting the array of movies inside this data, so we are setting the array of movies inside this movie hook. Okay, you can also check, I'm just printing that data also. So let's call this API first of all. So I'll just say that whenever this component loads, just call one more thing. Whenever this component loads, just call get movies. Okay, so let's see how it works. So if I inspect, and in console you can see in the movie carousel I'm getting a complete object, movie retrieved successfully. Yes, that's the API which we created, right? So inside this you can see I'm having some movies. Don't worry about the content right now. I've just added some random names and random values. So you can see I'm getting data. Okay, I'm getting data, and we have added this using what? Using the admin panel which we created previously. Okay, so check out the previous videos please, so that the confusion is removed. I will always repeat that. Okay, so we have 0 1 2 3 movies are here. Okay, so you can add more movies from the admin panel which we created. And right now let's show the movies. Okay, so these are the movies hard coded. Now we are going to show the actual movies. So for showing the actual movies inside the swiper, first of all guys, one thing you can see is we have to change the movie card type. Okay, just go here inside movie card type, we have to make a few changes. Okay, so for that we are just going to say now our data, actually we just added some temporary types here initially when we were creating the front end, but after that from the backend we added a few more fields. So these were the exact fields. Okay, title, portrait image, landscape image, id of the movie, rating of the movie, genre of the movie, and it's actually a string of arrays. Okay, that means array of strings. Okay, I'm sorry, array of strings. Okay, so then we have description, then we have duration, we have cast, we have crew. Cast is again an array, crew is also again an array. And right now I've just added some sample data. Maybe this might change. So from according to the backend you might receive some celebrity data. Okay, that means cast and crew would be having some data if you were using that API. According to that you have the add the type here. Okay, you have to add the type here. Right now just assume that this data might come. Okay, so I've added the type here. Okay, fine. And now here we're just saying that movie card type is like this, and you can see now we don't actually need this. We're actually getting data inside movies. Okay, so we'll just simply say just send the movies. First of all, just map the movies array which we have. Okay, then we are going to say that this is an instance. Okay, that means one object. I'm just going to send this object movie equals. Okay, movie equals movie. Similarly guys, you need one more thing, that is the user data. Okay, so we were getting user data in navbar, so similarly you're getting the user data here itself. So here you can see we have the get user. Okay, so I'm just going to call this copy, and carousel, just go here and paste it. Once again, if you don't need to call this again and again, call this function again and again, you can save the user data somewhere in global variable using redux recoil, so that you don't need to call APIs again and again. Okay, so right now you can see we have get user, and here we're just getting the user. We don't need this, and we don't need this also. Okay, actually if user is not logged in, we're just going to say window dot location, send the user to sign in page, and if user is there, just set the user here. Okay, so for that we're just going to create a hook for user. Now we are going to send these two inside what? Inside our card. Okay, so we'll just say the send the user also. Okay, send the user also. Fine, so we're just sending the movie as well as the user. Okay, so guys, here you can see it's not assignable. Okay, we have to fix it here also. So you can see right now the problem is here. The problem is here. So you can see, first of all, we are receiving the data. Okay, so we are just receiving the data. First of all, I'll just say that it's of any type. Now we're just saying that from data dot movie. Okay, so we are sending data. Data is what? Movie and user. So from data dot movie. Okay, that's how you pass properties from one component to another. Okay, so data dot movie, I have sent that data dot movie. Okay, similarly you want to extract city from the user, so you're just going to say that we are going to extract city from user. Okay, so data dot user. Fine, so we have actually data comes in object format. Okay, it has two key value pairs, one is the user, second is movie. Okay, so from user I have extracted the city, and from movie I have extracted these things. Fine, so now it would work properly. And now let's go back here, and right now you can see city of data. Okay, actually in some cases if the user is not logged in, the problem is you might have some issues. Okay, so first of all let's reload this, and you can see that the problem is here currently. So let's do one thing. If I go to movie card, let me just say that right now I'll just comment this out. Okay, I'll just comment this out, and right now I'll just print I'll just say that city is temporarily, and I'll just first of all print what is exact my data. There might be something which is causing some problem. Okay, actually guys, we haven't called this get user. Okay, so we have to call this also. Okay, so call this get user, then it would send the user to next page. Okay, so first of all we have to get the user. Okay, fine. So guys, now if I just reload, you can see everything is fine. The problem is we are not able to see the image. Why we are not able to see the image? The problem is we have to show theta differently. Okay, so we'll just say that we have the movie card. Inside this we have portrait image URL, right? So we have the portrait image URL and we have different kind of things. So I'm just going to show that data. So we are having these things, right? So we have ID, title, genre, rating, portrait image URL. Okay, so first of all we are going to show the portrait image URL. Fine. Second thing is we are going to map the genre accordingly. So genre is what? Genre is actually shown inside the details. So here you can see we are just going to say that genre, and I would just separate the array items by a comma. Okay, boring project, grow up. I have coded it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes में यार इतना कोड लिख लिया, गजब. सही है ब्रो आपके लिए, तो फिर आप गूगल में क्यों नहीं है? Okay, so guys, here you can see that we have shown the movies here. Okay, so it's Jawan and the sample movie which we have added. Okay, so these were the previous data which we have added before. So you can add more data using admin panel, right? So now inside this, if I click here, you can see I am being taken to Jabalpur. This is the city of the user, and according to that, the movie's route. After this, we have the movie name, whatever was the movie name. Okay, so instead of the movie name, actually, I'm going to pass the ID of the movie. Okay, that would be better because movie name might be same for different movies. So instead of this title, I'm going to provide the ID. So I would just simply provide the ID. Okay, forward the ID. Right. So let's come back. Okay, actually go to the normal home page, and here you can see that we are in this page, right? So now if I click on this, you can see that we have this ID. Okay, we have this ID. So now what we have to do is, after this, we have this ID, we have to extract data out of it. That means we have to call this ID, and from the backend I would simply send this get movie by ID. Okay, so once we have this ID in this page, we want to get the data. Okay, so we'll simply get the data, and for that we have to simply go inside which page? Sagar Datta. Hi Sagar. Okay, so this is the movie page, right? Here we are just showing temporary data. You can see this was the temporary data. So we have to call the exact data. So first of all, we want to get the ID out of it. So let's get the ID out of it. Okay, so we'll just get the ID out of it, and then we'll end this video because time is up now. So guys, here we just want to do one thing. Actually, I have to import something. Okay, so for importing things, you actually need to use one thing, I think. Okay, actually this is page.tsx, right? So inside page.tsx we have to use params. Okay, so we have to use params from Next.js. Okay, so we are sending ID from that page. That means this folder name is what? So you can see we have this folder movies. Inside this we have movie name. This is what? This is actually containing my ID. I'm gonna change this name to movie ID. Okay, यार छोड़ना, डायरेक्ट गिटहब लिंक दे दियो. GitHub link is actually available in the description. Nobody is forcing you to watch this unless your parents are not interested in you. Okay, so you can check out the description. The GitHub link is there, and please shut your mouth now and you can check out the description. Okay, बाकी लोगों को देखने दो, अपनी बकवास थोड़ी कम करो, ठीक है? जाओ अब, बाय. Have a good day, bro. So yeah, here we have the movie ID. Instead of the movie name, we were passing the movie ID. I've just changed it, and it might take some time. Okay, it might take some time. Now what you have to do is, guys, here inside this, what we were having is, inside this you can see we have page.tsx. Okay, it might take some time to make some changes. Okay, dp use करके graph लगा दे. Thanks, good suggestion. Okay, so here use path name, And one more thing, that is use Preeti Kumari. Hi Preeti. So use params. Okay, so use params. Inside this we are going to extract the id. Okay, so we'll just say that const. Actually I think it's taking a lot time. Let me just close it. Okay, okay, now let's come back. Okay, let's restart. Okay, okay, now it would work. Hi Amisha, how are you? यार ये बंदा बहुत सही है, द ऑफिशियल आयुष। भाई बस दो लोग देख रहे हैं, एक मैं और मेरा दूसरा अकाउंट। भाई तू इतना वेला है। सही है। Anyways, I don't want to fight here. If you want to watch, then that's fine. And if you don't want to watch, that's also fine. Okay? भाई तेरे पास इतना फालतू टाइम है तो कुछ काम की चीज कर ले, है ना? दूसरों को तो देखने दे एटलीस्ट। So, movie booking backend, I'm gonna start it again, then it would work. विराज, इग्नोर हिम, यू आर डूइंग ग्रेट। नहीं यार, मुझे मजा बहुत आता है, पता ऐसे कार्टून आ जाते तो मुझे मजा बहुत आता है। एनीवेज, लेट्स इग्नोर हिम। ओके, ज्यादा हो गया। Okay, so I'll just start the front end also. We are here. I know यार, we are here, but कुछ लोग पता नहीं क्यों प्रोवोक करते हैं मुझे। So इसको भी स्टार्ट कर देते हैं। npm run। ठीक है, अब चल जाएगा। सो गाइज, व्हाट वी डिड वाज, हियर इनसाइड द ऐप, इनसाइड द सिटी नेम, यू कैन सी राइट नाउ द वेरिएबल नेम हैज बीन चेंज टू मूवी आईडी। ओके, अब चेंज हो गया है। इट वाजंट चेंज प्रीवियसली बिकॉज VS Code had some issues, but yeah, now it's changed to movie ID. Okay, previously it was movie name, we just changed the name to movie ID. Inside movie ID you can see we have a file named as page.tsx. This is where we are showing our movie, right? This is where we are showing our movie, this page. So now we want to extract this ID and show it in our page. According to this ID we are going to get the data. Okay, भाई जानता कौन है तुमको जो तुमको ट्रोल करेंगे। देखा, तुम काय को टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो यार। ओके, सो वी हैव यूज परम्स हियर। सो फ्रॉम यूज परम्स वी आर गोइंग टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द मूवी आईडी। सो लेट्स से वी हैव कॉन्स्ट रियल आईडी से आओ यार, ऐसे मत किया करो यार, तुम रियल आईडी से आओ। छोटे बच्चों वाले काम मत किया करो, अपना नाम तो तुम ढंग से रखते नहीं हो यार। मम्मी पापा ने मम्मी पापा ने नाम रखा है द ऑफिशियल आयुष। सही है, रियल आईडी से आओ यार आयुष भाई। यस, सो मूवी आईडी। एक्चुअली यार अब बहुत हो गया, सेशन भी एंड करते हैं। सो या हियर यू कैन सी वी हैव मूवी आईडी एंड आई हैव एक्सट्रैक्टेड द मूवी आईडी। नाउ लेट्स गेट द डेटा फ्रॉम बैकएंड। ओके, सो लेट्स प्रिंट दिस फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, console.log मूवी आईडी। भाई तू पता रोज आया कर, अच्छा टाइम पास करवाता है। ओके, let's reload and then you would get the user ID. Okay, so okay, yes guys, here you can see we extracted the user ID from the URL. Okay, so that's how you do it in Next.js. And after this we want to get the movie with this user with this movie ID. So let's come back to our VS Code, and here guys you would see that we have the backend. In the backend we have the routes, movie.js, and here we have the movies ID. Okay, so this API actually gave us the movie by ID, right? So here we want to actually we actually want to extract this ID from this route, and after this what it did was it actually gave the movie object in the response. So we have to call this API. So for calling this API, It's very same. You're just going to go to the carousel. Okay, in the carousel you can see we were getting movies, so I'll just copy this. वाओ जवान मूवी, तुमने देख ली क्या जवान? अच्छी मूवी है यार, मुझे भी देखना है. Okay, so I'll just say that const movie. Initially I'll just set the movie as null. Okay, right now, okay, actually the problem is we already had the object. I'll just remove this temporary object. Now I'm going to call this data. I'm going to call this data from the backend. So for that, let's call the function. So this is the function which we simply bought from the movie carousel page, right? So instead of this, now I'm going to provide the movie ID. So for the movie ID, I'll just say slash dollar, and यहाँ पे we are extracting the ID from here. Okay, so I'll just copy this ID and let's paste the ID. Okay, so we have simply created the route, and this is actually which request. So let's go here and you can see this is the get method. Okay, so everything is fine. We are just checking. We actually don't need to check for the user also anyways. So we're just getting the ID, and according to that ID we're just sending the response. Okay, so come back here, and at the end you're just going to say set movie and whatever data you receive. Okay, so I'll also print the data so that you can see the data. And one more thing guys, from movie carousel we are printing the data here itself, so I'll just remove the data. Okay, भाई मैं बांग्लादेश से देख रहा हूँ, बस एक बात बोलूँगा, सही है. ओके, सो नाउ लेट्स कंसंट्रेट बैक. बहुत लोग बकवास कर रहे हैं आज, मल्टीपल आईडी से आ रहे हैं, कोई बात नहीं. हियर वी हैव सिंपली प्रिंटेड दिस. आई विल जस्ट रिमूव दिस फ्रॉम हियर. Okay, we have removed it from here, get movies, and this was movie carousel, so now it won't print anyways. Now here we are just getting the data and we are just printing the data in the movie page. Okay, so this is the movie page completed. The problem here is we are getting error here. Okay, so we'll fix this. What we'll do is, right now I'm just going to call this function. Okay, so console.log, actually sorry, use effect and get movies. Okay, use effect good get movies, right? And right now I'll just comment this because we have to get data accordingly, so data might be changed, and this was just some dummy data, so I'll just remove this for now, comment out, and let's first of all see we are getting the data from the backend or not. Okay, so let's come back, reload. Yes, so you can see we have got the message movie retrieved successfully. All right, so inside this we have the data. Okay, so data actually is whatever movie you are looking at. So for example, right now you can see this is the movie. Okay, don't go to the name. Okay, right now just some temporary data. If I go back, let's go to some other page. Okay. So for example, this was the home page, and you can see that we have added a few movies, temporary movies from the admin panel. Now if I click on this, you can see I'm getting the data of that movie. Okay, so this was the movie which I clicked on, and I'm getting the data according to that. Okay, so this is the data which we are going to show in this page in the next video. So only a few things are remaining guys. So first thing is actually to show this movie data. Second thing is book ticket. Okay, so we're going to book ticket also. So for booking ticket we have created the booking API. So like for example, whatever seats you want to select, we are going to select the seat. We have created the complete UI in front end, but we have to add this to the API. That means we have to merge the front end with the API, the booking seat, and at the end when booking is successful we have to save the booking in user database. So that's what we have to do after this, and after that bookings must be shown into the user profile. Okay, so 3-4 things are remaining which we are going to complete tomorrow. So today what we have done, we have completed the authentication part, login, sign up. Then after that we worked on the home page. So let me just show you the home page again. So we worked on the home page, we worked on the location part. You can see according to this you would set your location, so whatever is your location would be passed here. Okay, so you can see whatever is your location would be passed here. And we worked on the login logout functionality, sign up functionality. Then after that we worked on the movie carousel. Okay, whatever movies have you listed, you would get all the movies. If you click on any movie, inside this we also got the data. So from next video we are going to show the data in this page. Okay, that means the temporary data which we were showing, instead of that we are going to show the real data. Okay, So guys, that's it for today. Let me just first of all upload the source code, then we would end this video. Okay. So yes, here this is my GitHub profile. You would find the same link in the description, github.com/VIRA0J014. Okay, this is my GitHub profile. Class time, sir. So the class is daily happening at around 8 बजे start हो जाती है. So it starts at 8 and ends at around 9. Okay, so you can watch it daily, and on Sundays it's not there. So you can always check my classes from Monday to Saturday in this channel. Okay, so this is my GitHub profile. The link is available in the description. You can follow me, and also you can check out my social media handles. In the repositories you would find my GitHub repository. Okay, so we have this movie booking. You simply have to search it here. Okay, so I create a lot of projects and I upload a lot of projects, so you can simply search for MOV and you would find movie booking 3x admin. Okay, and then you have movie booking 3x backend, and then you have movie booking 3x. This is for front end. Okay, so these three are important. Okay, three are important, and you can definitely check out the repository. You can check out the complete source code. I'll upload the complete source code today here. Okay, so let me just do it. So let me just upload the source code. Okay, so git add dot git commit m, it's day 7. Okay, and git push, sorry, git push, no configuration. Okay, sorry guys, actually not here, we were inside the, okay, anyways, let me just first of all upload the backend. So I'll again try git add dot git commit m as day 7 and git push. Okay, failed to push, some refs updates were rejected because contains work. Okay, you have not, okay, anyways, I think I have to make the configuration properly. Anyways, I'll upload the source code, so you have to simply search for movie booking 3x backend, front end, as well as the admin panel. Okay, three things. So the some complete source code is here. After this guys, one more thing, that is you can check out the description for a course provided by Geeks4Geeks that is live and recorded. So if anyone wants to learn MERN stack development for paid, obviously it's a paid course, so you can definitely check out the links in the description. And if you want to buy it, definitely you can. Please check the course content before buying any course. Okay, so tomorrow we are gonna finish this project, and if you don't know where are the previous videos, so let me just show you. So you can simply visit the Geeks4Geeks development channel. First of all, in this channel, just go to the playlist part. Okay, just go to the playlist part, and then we have 3x dev. Okay, so this is the playlist which has all the projects for MERN stack, 3 projects which we have created from past 2-3 weeks. So you have to look for movie booking. Okay, if you are trying to find the previous videos of movie booking, so you can see we have movie booking day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. Okay, so what happened on day 6 was we were unable to complete the remaining part. So what we did was, now after that we are having the extra session. So this is extra session 1 and extra session 2. Okay, so these are the sessions which you have to look for movie booking application. Okay guys, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, see you, a good day. Bye bye.